Yeah, just breezing through Liquid Lunch Woman Wednesday edition. Xen Sams was with us. Joe Hagan brought a friend, Gina Ricci, the love coach, and I'm going to be doing her show a little later on tonight. You can catch it on Facebook, Real Raw Role Play and Love and Dating. I don't know how far I'm going to get into it, but for Woman Wednesday, some of the guests that I frequently have on here also have their own offerings of different types of podcasts and webcasts and stuff. And I decided that, I'm just not a host of a show. I can be a guest for some of those who are nice enough to come on Liquid Lunch. So this morning, I recorded a show, a Sirius XM radio show with Karen Turk. We went behind the headlines on everything that's going on with the Supreme Court justices and how terrible New York is. So you got to check out Behind the Headlines on YouTube. And then today at 5:30, I will be joining former Miss Venezuela, Luisa Diaz, who comes on our show all the time. And I'll be on her podcast, Sexy is Timeless. And we're going to be talking about all the ways that you can stay sexy as you get older. I'm clearly failing in that department, so hopefully Louisa and friends can give me a little help there. And then at 8 o'clock, I'm going to go on with Gina Ricci. So I have a full day of interviewing in store for me, and I have a lot in store for you. The Senate Republicans who are looking into all of the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden connections to both Ukraine and China released an explosive report on Hunter Biden and Burisma. And it turns out that while this probe was hampered with delays and stuff, the probe found that in 2015, well, let's go to this first. John Solomon, who's been breaking stuff out of Ukraine for a while, tweeted, Senate report slams Biden's for conflicts of interest, flags possible criminal activity. GOP-led investigation cites evidence of Burisma bribe, suspicious foreign money transfers, and sex trafficking. So that is a little scary right there. Former Ambassador George Kent testified during the House impeachment hearings against last year. Kent is currently the Deputy Assistant Secretary for European and Eurasian Affairs, pointed out that he thought there was a conflict, that Hunter was on the board and Joe Biden was controlling Ukraine policy and everything else. According to the New York Post, Kent's concerns went unaddressed. In September 2016, he emphasized in an email to colleagues, furthermore, the presence of Hunter Biden on the Burisma board was very awkward for all U.S. officials pushing an anti-corruption agenda in Ukraine. Okay? So here's George Kent, no fan of Donald Trump, if you remember, from the impeachment hearings and the Intelligence Committee hearings. And then it goes further, this New York Post article about the bombshell revelations. The committee also obtained records from the U.S. Treasury that show potential criminal activity that show relating to transactions among and between Hunter Biden, his family and his associates, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakh, and Chinese nationals. And the report adds, the records also note that some of these transactions are linked to what appears to be an Eastern European prostitution or human trafficking ring. So bombshell stuff coming out. October surprises everywhere. We got a new Supreme Court justice we got to get in the seat. And it turns out Hunter Biden doesn't speak Ukrainian at all, okay? Rarely, if ever, visited Ukraine, and had no expertise in the oil and gas business. But for some reason or another, him and Devin Archer and his buddies here in the U.S., who are all related to Joe Biden and other, John Kerry, they all were massive benefactors of, tons and tons of money. And if you remember, when they asked Hunter Biden about this, when Joe Biden announced his presidency on ABC News, he answered the question, did I do anything improper? No, not in any way whatsoever. And it sounds like this Senate report is going to tell us a lot more about all of the things that, all the improper things Hunter has done. And there's some video out there on the Hunter Biden report that I want you to take a look at. Check this out.
Welcome back. Well, the widely anticipated Senate report on Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden's connections to Ukraine has just been released. The GOP-issued report finds that Hunter Biden's financial transactions with Ukrainian, Russian, Kazakh, and Chinese nationals raise, quote, criminal concerns. The report also finds that the former vice president's office and State Department officials were aware of it, his dealings with Ukraine, but they ignored concerns relating to Hunter Biden's role on the board of Burisma. Joining me right now is Arkansas Senator, Senate Armed Services and Senate Intelligence Committee member Tom Cotton. Senator, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Maria.
So we have a lot to talk about this morning, Senator, but let me begin on this report from Senator Ron Johnson's office. And it shows that Secretary of State John Kerry falsely claimed he had no knowledge about Hunter Biden's role on Burisma's board. That was a lie. Hunter Biden and his family's financial transactions, where Hunter Biden was getting money from these governments. What's your reaction?
Maria, I haven't read Senator Johnson's report yet. I look forward to reviewing it today, but much of what we already knew from the public record was indeed very troubling. Look, Joe Biden for 47 years has been appeasing China. The only job he created in his dealings with China was a job for his son. We all know about Hunter Biden's job with the shady Ukrainian oligarch from the Democrats' partisan impeachment earlier this year. And emails that have been released under the Freedom of Information Act already showed that many officials in the government, to include to the top ranks of John Kerry's State Department, were also aware of these troubling patterns, and they were themselves troubled by it. So I think Senator Johnson's report will shed important light on these very troubling facts.
Pretty simple, folks. Joe Biden was controlling Ukraine policy. He was controlling the money we were budgeting to them for anti-corruption efforts. His son goes on the board of directors of Burisma, a corrupt company in Ukraine. Gets paid millions of dollars to his company, where he's partners with Devon Archer, who just happens to be connected to the Secretary of State, John Kerry.